is gone. I mean, I've got it bad. I've tried to make believe that I'm not sad, not a single soul to cheer me, and I'm so forlorn. No one to hear my cries unsympathized. Nobody knows but my pillow and me. Nobody knows half the troubles I...
Hello Space Engineers, welcome back to Hephaestus Prime, Wellington 6012 here. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody is all fit and well. I'm fit and well. Back into it. I've sort of had a few days away from the computer with work and things. Glad to be back though. So here on Hephaestus Prime, bit of a busy day lined up today. I'll show you around this battery room. I've made a few changes, additions, some functional, mostly cosmetic. Then we'll head out into the main tunnel. Got a couple of main projects today, well actually 3 if I get time. One is building some sort of digging vehicle to dig out some more rooms in the base. I like the centipede with its drill attachment, it's just not really doing it for me for the purpose of digging out the base. I think I could handle it for a few rooms, but I think inevitably I'm going to have to get a wheeled vehicle for some of the things that I want to do, so I may as well do that now. Now, one of the first rooms I'm going to dig out is a storage and manufacturing room. So, don't know about manufacturing today, refining, that sort of thing, but hopefully I'll get some storage containers in. We'll just have to see how we go for time. The thing is that the beast is kind of in the way of where I want to put said storage room. So I need to look at moving the beast. Now, I've already moved it back through the tunnel several times. I think now is the time where I actually need to put a decent spot for it. So that means turning the drill rig around 90 degrees to make a bit of a hangar space. So I don't know how that's going to work or if I can even do it, but we'll give that a go today. Now onto the battery room tour. So I've got extra 2 batteries in there just to sort of fill up the room. The transparent screens are running a script, the automatic LCDs too, so that's showing stats for each individual battery, just so I can see readily where they are. Hydrogen engines, yep, finish those off. They are pretty much decorative, I can't see myself using them, those button panels aren't hooked up. I just dotted a few of these decorative containers around the place as well, a little bit of colour, and one of them has got some ore in it. Where are we? There we go. So I just sort of started stockpiling the uranium a bit as well from the trading post. I did make a visit over there. So yeah, that's the battery room. Quite happy with that. Gives a bit of an idea of what the rest of the base might look like. The grinding module for the centipede. So I've finished all that off and tidied that up and put on all the coverings and hull and that sort of thing. Have also moved some of the connectors on top of each module. Got a bit of a plan going forward for that. We won't be doing that today. This little sign here, I'll just show you this. This actually took me quite a while to do. It took a little bit of wrangling to get the thing up there and trial and error, but really happy with how that came out. Just adds a little bit of detail. It's a bit like a drive-through sign at McDonald's or something. Now I have had the drill machine turned off. I'll need to turn that back on. Now, I do need to keep an eye on it because I want to stop it when I get to the next connector location. Plenty of steel in there. So, I think we're about halfway. So, how many lights have we got? So, 1, 2. Yeah, so that's be 10 more shifts. And it takes about 5 minutes to cycle, so it's about 3/4 of an hour. So I'll just have to keep an eye on that as I'm doing the vehicle build. And yeah, I've got an idea of how I'm going to pivot this thing around 90 degrees, but I do just need to get it in the right spot to do that. Right, on with the vehicle, with the digger. Okay, so first things first, a couple of large containers. And just need to get these around the right way. Now, once again, full disclosure, this is not the first time I've tried to build this thing. I've made pretty similar vehicles a few times now, and they have sort of not worked. So some of the things that I've tried, it is the basic same vehicle, it's just been minor differences that I've been doing, so starting this one from scratch again. So the best way to describe this is a burrowing vehicle, so it can dig its own path through a hill. I'm going to use it here in the main base to create the rooms that I need to create, but I'm potentially then going to move it to the mine locations for underground mining. I think it's going to be useful for that, so that I'm not just going to use it here and then cast it off. So at the front there'll be drill heads, and where the previous version sort of fell over were two things. One was the method I was using for raising the drill heads, because I do want it to be adjustable height. And then secondly was, I did try some versions with welders on the front as well. That essentially I welded a floor to drive on before I drilled it, and that had limited success. And it's still going to be a problem with this, I think, is just the weight of the drill head and everything past the front wheels. So I'm going to have to look at a little bit of counterweight on the back. Yeah, I'm still just working through quite a few issues with it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this one and I'm going to stick with it, and this will be one way or another I'll get this one right. So wheels, going to go for a 3 sets of wheels, tri-set. I think there's going to be enough support in those. Some of the versions I did have 4 wheels, but I think I'll just stick with 3 this time. Try and make it as compact as I can. Basically, I always tried to be too complicated before, and yeah, it got a bit big and a bit complex, and so many pistons and twisting and all sorts of stuff going wrong. There was the odd bit of cartwheeling carnage down the tunnel as well, so I did record that, but I'm not going to play it. I've sort of got rid of all those videos, all that content, so we'll just stick with this one. So just going for a lightweight skin on this as well. It only takes to have to put a full block underneath and a full block on top and a full block on the sides, and it really does just increase the size of this well, probably by about 20% I would work out. Sort of 5 blocks wide for the container if I added 2 on. So yeah, it added quite a bit of mass to the vehicle and just made it look big. So trying to really just keep it quite small, quite compact, and just really core. So I've had to get rid of the idea of a lot of the pistons and stuff that I was going to use. I still will be using pistons, but I'm going to go with a lot simpler setup. So I decided to put this lightweight skin on early, just so I can use it as a bit of a guide as to the rest of the layout. Yeah, I was finding that just because the skin was so tight and limited for room, that I was having to rejig everything, and I think it's going to be easier if I work the pistons and pipe work around the half blocks rather than the other way around. So I think I'll just skip forward to the other side once this is all done. Alright, got all that done, got the extra set of wheels in. Now, I think this is going to be one of those episodes that's going to be quite choppy because there's quite a lot to get through and it's all taking quite a while to do. It's a little bit niggly, this. But yeah, there we go. That's sort of the easy 2/3 of it done. Now I've got the difficult bit of figuring out the front. Alright, got that 3rd set of axles on, and just going to put on one of these, where is it? There it is, the cockpit, the industrial one. I really like this industrial cockpit, I use it quite a bit. Gives you a good view and stuff. So a little bit of an access behind there. That's why I need to be quite careful about how I place those containers right at the start, because yeah, I need an access, a small 1x1. Now, I'm only going to be using this for ores, so I'm not too worried about the whole using a 3x3 conveyor. I can just easily stick with the 1x1 for all of this. So I'll just plug up under there. And I'm just going to use small batteries, like just stick them in holes wherever I can. So that's the 1x1 battery. It's not as though there's any thrusters or anything like that, and I've learnt with the Explorer buggy that it can be a bit of overkill even just putting one of those larger batteries on. Although in saying that, I did think about using the batteries as a bit of counterweight on the back. So yeah, but we'll stick with this method for now, because I have got this gap behind the cockpit. Now I'll also put some conveyors, just connect up the cockpit as well. Since I've got a connection right there, I may as well weave a few little conveyors through. Doesn't necessarily mean I'll really be able to use it for anything, but I will do that. Okay, so that's all connected up, and I think that's all the batteries are. No, I might stick some more in. They're only little, so yeah. We'll plug a few more in a gap somewhere. I've also put the conveyors into the front there, ready to put some pistons on, because I'll just use some pistons, straight up and down pistons. Not going to be using any pivot points or hinges or anything like that. It was really the hinges that I was falling over with, not so much the ones that were acting as a hinge as such, like on a pivot or something. Because what I did was I did have arms and then another piston pushing the arm up, and that was working fine. But what I'm really struggling with is when I had a hinge on the end of an arm or on the top of a piston and the drill head coming off of it. That's just hard to get them straight and level. They just weren't really working for me, so decided to get rid of all the hinges. Not going to use hinges. Now this is one of the trickier things, to try and get the angles right to link stuff up. This is why I wanted to really get that skin put on nice and early so I could figure it out. And there's actually a gap in there, which I think I can put a couple of batteries in. Yeah. Once I get in the right spot, just sort of struggling to fly at the moment. There we go, it's good use of room. Now those blocks are sticking out a little bit further than what I was expecting. Right, I'll get rid of those blocks on the inside and replace them with something else. Just put the little corner ones down here. I think that little gap down there will be quite a good spot for some spotlights actually. I do like my mining machines to have plenty of light poking out the front, even if it's not really useful, just for the sort of aesthetics of it. So I'll get these set up. And then we'll jump in the cockpit and I will do a little bit of programming and naming and things. I'll just finish these off first. Right, so I'll just put those spotlights into a group and I'll turn them off as well, which you can just press L in the cab and that'll turn them off. Now, the name of this vehicle is going to be called the Fossorial. So Fossorial is the name. I'll just put the LCD thing on there because I probably will use this for automatic LCDs too at some point. But yeah, the Fossorial name is that's the name of animals that the sort of tunneling, burrowing type animals. So like a mole is a type of fossorial animal. Now I don't think it's enough just to be a digging animal like rabbits. I think you've actually got to have your limbs adapted specifically for digging. So I think armadillos and aardvarks, they fall into that category as well. And yeah, as I said, moles certainly do. So I'll just group these lights and group the batteries and get rid of them off the terminal list so it doesn't clog up. I am getting better at keeping that tidy. Before I get too sidetracked as well, I should go and check that minor, because that must just about be at the right spot for turning 90 degrees, so when it reaches that connector. So I've just got to put the pistons and drill heads on the front. I'll just use a vertical setup, a bit like a forklift mast. But yeah, happy with how that's all looking and coming along, so we'll head over and sort out this drill. Now this is looking pretty close to being on track. Hopefully I haven't overshot it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more push, one more move, so how far's that got to go? That's not too far off being complete, so I have a couple of minutes here I think. Might just duck underneath quickly and extend the conveyor, because I think that's still a little bit to go. I did put some in. Yeah, there's still a few more to go, so I shall change the colour and add a few more of those in, and then get ready to put on a container at the end, so I can just grab stuff out of there, which would be good. Alright, so that's all done, and I'll just grab the parts for a container while I'm down here, so I can just put that straight in. Marvellous. And yeah, we must just about be there. In fact, there we go now. That was good timing. Okay, so we'll just have to wait for this to cycle through and weld up, and let it get going again, and then I'll switch it off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a rotor in line with those welders, so right at the pivot point. And then I'll set the drill head spinning again and the drill's on, but I won't have the push going, it's just going to twist instead of push. So I think that's going to be the way to get around the corner. Now I'll have to figure out how I'm going to link up the rotor. Just wait for this to turn back on. There we go. Okay, so we'll just stop that moving. Now the rotor, so that's going to go in this this gap down here, so I'll just put the container in first. And I might just reinforce this, just in case I cut something by accident. That's why I put that little angle one on all of them actually. Alright, so I'm going to put a merge block in here, because I'm going to attach the rotor with a merge block, because I just don't think I can sort of do the piston. This will be good a ways any. So I'll put the rotor up the top there. Get it the right way around. Weld, there we go. And conveniently, there's a container right there, which I just forgot to name. Boom. Okay, so I'll put a merge block in there, and then the other merge block will go on the rotor. So I'll put that one on, because if I can retract that rotor up high enough, then it may be able to fit the merge block underneath, but I'm not hopeful about that. Just need some components. There's these will do. I'll just grind these up, won't be needing them. So there's components for my two merge blocks. Okay, oh, can't quite see it there. Just use this build vision mod again. I've been getting used to using this, and it's really awesome for these types of things, controlling pistons, controlling rotors, so you don't have to go into a terminal and try and find them. Now that's just not quite high enough to let the merge block underneath. Okay, I thought this would probably happen. I'm going to have to lift the whole thing up with a piston. So I'll just pop one over here on this side. And I haven't actually changed my temporary pink colour, so we'll do that. I have to change those rotors as well. So I'll just chuck a landing gear and a piston in here. plenty of room for the merge block now. Just change the colour on those. There we go. Now, fingers crossed, this will all just lock in, so I'll just lower this slowly. And I can just leave it switched on because when I unlock the landing gear, it'll just retract it, so that'll be good. There we go. Gently does it. Boom. Sweet. Alright, just unlock this thing. Oh, wrong button. Oh, let go with a bit of a thud. But anyway, that's all good. That's out of the way. So, actually, just before I set this rotating, I better get rid of some of this metal plate over here. I'm going to have to take out quite a big section, but just to get started, I'll just take these two out. Just give myself the quicker grinder. So I'll get rid of all of this up to here, and then that'll give a bit of room to get going. I'll just get rid of those steel plates because I won't need them. Alright, we'll set this rotor going. Now I'm going to set it going pretty much ultra slow, so there's no risk of it jamming or anything like that, because I am just going to let it go and turn my back on it for a while. Once I figure out which direction it's going, of course. And then I'll put in a lower limit so that it actually stops, so I can just leave it and not worry about it. That's the plan anyway. Hopefully there's not some horrendous great big explosion over my shoulder when I'm finishing off the Fossorial. Okay, so that is definitely moving, and it's definitely going the wrong way, so I'll just have to reverse that rotor. There we go. Yep, that's going the right way. Okay, just get rid of the rest of this plate here so that it's got some room to turn into. Otherwise there will be explosions when the drill hits it. Alright, that's all done, and this is moving very slowly, but I'm pretty sure it's moving. A little bit of a gap here. I'll check the landing gears because that's the best way to tell. There's the back of it swings around. But yeah, you can see there I've got rid of all the plate out of the way. That should be a big enough gap. Just have a look. It's hard to sort of tell. It hasn't gone far. Yep, that's definitely moving. It's going slowly, but that's definitely moving. Alright, I'll just set the lower limit, and then we'll get back onto the drill head for the Fossorial. So just a fairly basic setup here for the pistons, because I do want to be able to lift them up. That's the main thing, so I can get a bit of height. So I'm just going to use some basic pistons stacked on top of each other. We'll have to do a little bit of fan dangling with the merge blocks to get them to link up. Yeah, then I need to sort of think about the back end of it too, how to connect it. So I did think about having some connectors underneath, and then using the wheels height adjustment to lower it and whatnot, but yeah, I just think it'll hang down a bit too much, and it would be alright if I was just still on the flat metal all the time, but I am sort of planning to take this overgrounded to a mine site at some point, and I think the connector will just get wiped out. So I've been thinking along the lines of using a hinge on the back, so I can have a connector straight out the back, but also I can just lean it over and have it enabled to connect to the ground connectors, like the ones throughout this tunnel here. So these drills that I'm putting on these connectors, so you can see the pistons that I've got to raise it up and just gives it a little bit of height, and then I've got these solid conveyors on the other side, just trying to get them sort of right. It does seem to be catching on the cockpit as it goes up. I can't sort of place the middle connector. Hopefully once I sort of get it all up and connected, using the merge block to enable me to bridge the gap, hopefully I should be able to squeeze past. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. Might just have to rejig things a bit. So we'll be 2 rows of 3, so we'll have another couple of drills in the middle there, and I'll just use the just finish this one off. Thought I had enough parts for it. We'll use the merge blocks to link the 2 pistons up, and then I'll need to group them and stuff so they raise at the same time, same speed, that sort of thing. So I'll just put down some temporary scaffolding here, leave enough room to get the drill head underneath. Always do get a bit nervous doing this sort of thing because sometimes, yeah, physics happens and the thing goes cartwheeling down the road, down the hill, something like that. I am still locked into the rotor, so that's unlikely to happen. So we'll just drop this one down out of the way so we can line up the merge blocks. Okay, so crossing fingers and toes. Let's just raise this one back up again and see how it goes. Not too bad. Right, now we can just pop a drill in the middle there and we should be all good. Now there is definitely a little bit of twisting and vibration in the pistons, but I think if I drop them back down and reset them, they should come right. So what I will need to do is go in and sort out all the groups and set up some of my toolbars. Yeah, it's a little bit jiggly there, but I think that'll be right. I'll just share the inertia tensions and those sorts of things. I'll do some stuff. Yeah, so I've just got to get in and name the stuff and set them up into groups and that sort of thing. So I think what I'll do is I'll do all that, and by that stage the drill head's probably turned around as well, so I'll just tidy some things up and we'll come back soon. So I would say this drill has been well and truly finished for quite some time, and I'm only just getting to it now because there was a little bit of a hiccup with the drill on the Fossorial, which I'll talk about when I get back there. So I'm just going to not relay, I haven't laid this yet, lay down some blocks here to create a floor in this corner where it's pivoted around already, and just get this all set up. Just using the welders since they're right there, may as well. And I'll have to manually do all the other ones. Cool. That one's up the wrong way. To get rid of it while it was still going. There we go. Okay. The other ones I'll just have to do by hand. So I'll just lay all these out, fill in all the gaps, and that'll give me something to put the, just turn those off, put the landing gear back down on. Okay, so that's all that laid out. All the other ones will just get done automatically as the thing pushes forward, because the projector of course is turned 90 degrees as well. So I'll just lock this landing gear down and extend the piston. It's going, oh, I forgot to unlock the thing. Right, I'll just grind one of these things out of the way. That'll do. Ooh, that got it. Whoops. Okay, so I'll just replace some of these merge blocks where it's going. So it'll just be the two here. Get rid of this one and replace that with a connector since we need one of those here. And yeah, once I lower it back down and lock it onto the merge block, then I'll be able to get rid of that temporary piston and yeah, get it going again. And it should just go no worries. But we might have to have a look at that later because time is absolutely marching on. So we better get back to the Fossorial, finish that off, and then that'll be us today. No time to do the storage room. But then I always knew I was biting off quite a bit today, so yeah. So I've just had a bit of a think in the last few minutes and come to the realization that I'm out of time. I have bitten off more than I can chew today, so we're going to have to continue this next time. So I've still got a bit of work to do on the Fossorial. I've put this cargo container on the back and put some gravel in it as counterweight. Now that's going to extend the length of the Fossorial because I've still got to put a hinge and a connector on the back. And I forgot about ejectors for waste stone when I'm sort of mining other ores. So I'm going to sort of plumb that into the top of that top of that container there, and I'll put some sorters in. Now, as I said, it does mean it's going to be longer, so I'm thinking that I might need to put an extra set of axles in as well. So there's a whole lot of things going through my mind, all of which it's just too much to rush it into this episode, so I'll have a bit more of a think about it and come back. So these drills, got them all sorted now and got them on the program bar. So I can turn them on and off using the on-off, which is one function on this, but pressing the 2 function, I can use the mouse click to get it operating. So left click for drill and right click for destroy. So that's cool. I did mention before when I was a bit late coming back to sort out the drill machine that I was having issues here. So I've actually had to replace this whole front mechanism, and you can see that I've put pistons in just to get it a little bit forward of the cockpit, because it was clearing it, but not very well, as in, yeah, with a bang and a crash and everything ricocheting everywhere. Yeah, it was not good. So just put those little pistons in, and yeah, they'll keep it away from the cockpit, so that's cool. And a little bit of a paint job, and yeah, I think I'm going to have to extend out those wheels, put another set on. So that probably means putting in a temporary lift because I need to get up off the ground, and oh, dramas. So we'll leave that for next time. Now, way back at the start of the episode, I said that I was going to do a storage room, and that's just an impossibility, really. So I don't even know if I'm going to get that done next episode, to be honest. I've just laid out this little section here to drive the Fossorial on to drill out. And what I'm going to do is put the Flyer and Explorer in there, the buggy Explorer in there, and that'll be their little home. Because then that'll free up a bit of room for the centipede over that side, because there is some work that I want to do with that, have a sort of nice place to stow it away. Let's jump in here. So yeah, that tunnel boring machine really has slowed down progress today, and I just need to leave that for a while to drill away and make some room to put the beast. And then, yeah, I can move the beast and get access to where I'm going to put the storage area and manufacturing. So that will be us for today. What I'm going to do is jump into the centipede. I've got the grinder attachment on the front. And as I trail off, I'm going to head over to Treasure Island. And ooh, what is that landing gear doing? That's not right. Something has gone very wrong there. Hang on, I'll just reset those pistons. Gosh, I don't know what was going on there. Just a bit of a bug in the system. Can I have a look and make sure it's alright. But yeah, I'm just going to head over to Treasure Island and use this grinder attachment, and that way, just while I'm doing other stuff, I can get this grapefruit going back and forth as well. And just really give this centipede and grinder attachment a decent go, because when I built it last time, I only just did the atmospheric fighter, so not a really good test. So it'd be good just to go over and deal to Treasure Island. So yeah, as the sun comes up, or at least I think it is when I poked my nose out the front before, the sun's coming up, so we'll head off into the sunrise. And I can't remember if you've seen all these screens and stuff. I'm just going through and turning everything on and setting everything going. Have to go through 3 menu bars. Something's still just not quite right there. There we go. We're away. Now I have to turn this thing around, which is why I need to do some sort of automatic turning thing for the individual modules, and that's why I put those connectors on top. But anyway, that will not be next time, that will not be the time after, that is on my to-do list. So yeah, as we sort of spin around and head outside, we'll just say thanks everybody for watching. Hope you did enjoy today. It was quite a busy day and I was all over the place, despite being stuck in the tunnel here. And yeah, hopefully you can join me next time and we'll finish off the Fossorial and do some other bits and pieces. But next time you see me, I'll be over Treasure Island. So stay safe out there everybody. Have a good one. See you next time.